Good morning, God's Country Place, and the kitchen here for just a minute. Within the religious balance, the idea of atonement is defined as making up for, or a repentance, or an indication of satisfied retribution. To atone means to perform a mental or physical act that provides relief for the apparent incapacity to formulate unity thinking. The whole basis of atonement, which is at one-ment, is to bring about in your minds, through a connecting process, the unification of your thought associations. Now, the necessity to detach you from your previous perceptual, conceptual associations in the formulation of the limited constructs of your previous perception will be very obvious to you if you look at them, won't you? When you come to me and say, help me become enlightened, whatever you think that might be, or help me to forgive, or help me to give of myself and the nature of the love that I feel for my brothers, my only and absolute instruction must finally be that you come to know yourself. This obviously involves a constant examination of your perceptual associations, and finally, through the release of the previous constructions, to bring about a new and totally different formulation of the perception of yourself in relationship to the things around you. Do you see this? Okay, there's a song out that I happened to pick up somewhere high up on the dial by Bobby Joel or some rock star who simply sings pertinent things, events, and personalities, apparently from about 1949 up to 1989. Each chorus is a year, if you haven't heard this song, and it begins with something like Harry Truman Hula Hoop, and he simply rhymes it and does it in an attempt in his mind to bring together a 40-year association with hitherto non-associate ideas, and suddenly you're including some incredible things. This is the need of the mind. Now, those of you who have pain in your early adolescence, those of you who feel the stress of this pressing reality on you, have the kind of minds that are attempting to organize in a high framework this incredible chaos that they see all around you. The whole purpose of the atonement is to allow you to do that. This is all I really do. My mind very early, and many sedativists, consciousnesses end up with the incapacity to deal with the speed of their associate thoughts and utilize a drug literally to slow down their perceptual thoughts. They don't understand that their mind is different, that it's faster, that it has a tendency to correlate, in a different frame of reference. But there can be a lot of value to you when you go out as teachers if you are able to see these minds, because these are the kind of minds that you have. Okay. My mind, very early on, going back many years, saw associations that I could bring together in some sort of a continuity of thought. I mean, if you would look at historically, a lot of human beings would have trouble associating Mozart with Ben Franklin. I mean, that's an easy one. You don't associate the Revolutionary War with Mozart. And the connections are extensive throughout your own karma history. The real problem lies in that since your mind is a reflection of thought and it forms a continuity of self, it is in a rejection of thought that doesn't fit into a pattern of your participation in your self-identity at this time. This is the direct indication, as Master Jesus, the great out-of-body master that with associates constructed the Course in Miracles, would say to you, we are teaching you a process of forgiveness, to forgive, okay, to literally not hold a grievance of your own thoughts, okay, in an association with the conceptual ideas that you have about yourself. Holy mackerel. But certainly it begins with the human brain, or the left brain, correlating all of these memory patterns that are coming into it from the genetic signals coming to it from its potential. Okay. Now the so-called creative mind simply correlates all of these ideas and expresses itself at a previously unknown range of consciousness. You call this genius. It may be funneled, it may be very local, it may be the extension of energy in a particular commitment. Here's the teaching. The only manner in which you can unify or cognify your associate thoughts is through the establishment of a desired effect. This you might look at as a goal, isn't it? So you bring together all of the thoughts you have and seek a goal that will bring you a feeling of unification, a feeling of happiness, a feeling of contentment. And this is really all the human mind does. Somewhere within its framework, it comes together in endeavors to identify itself in association with itself. The broad picture of that, obviously, is the culture that you see all around you here, the need to come together and to be at peace and to be at home. Okay. My direction and my statement to you is that your mind is single consciousness, is universal consciousness. It appears chaotic because somewhere within the framework of you it is split. And once it's split, it seeks to identify itself outside of the framework of the wholeness which must be God or singular consciousness. The atonement is nothing but the bringing together of all of the thought forms in memory that are within the framework of space-time. Isn't this astonishing? Okay. The dilemma that you face in your mind is the incorrigible necessity to bring together, let's say, the holocrust, to bring together the idea that 10,000 babies starved to death last night with the lovely observation of April morning when the rain is falling gently on spring flowers. How good, my goodness sake, no wonder you're in pain. Do you care to look at how you have to, in the stress of your attempted retention of reality, correlate the awful pain and death of your mind associations with the love and joy and happiness of a summer picnic? Holy mackerel. That you managed to do it indicates the incredible achievement possibility of the distance between cause and effect of perceptual mind. But Master Jesus has a sentence very early in the Course where he says, you can't do it indefinitely. Finally, the fractured mind suffers so much tension and pain in its necessity but incapacity to ultimately identify itself that it literally begins to expand itself in the ratios of its own thinking. You call this evolution, and I'm not going to get into that particularly. This is actually what's occurring in your minds now, very evidently. Be grateful. So this is a course in non-rejection to obtain connection. Okay? Now when your mind begins to what? Correlate, and out of the depth of your memory come lovely allegories, don't they? suddenly you make a connection between Homer's Ulysses and the 12 tasks and the 12 tribes of Israel, or the 12 vagus nerves of your body. And oh, wow, you begin to get very excited about the notion of the I Ching and the genetic code having the same helix symbol. Wow, wow, wow. They're telling you something, aren't they? They're telling you that contained in you are all of these symbols and thought forms that you can bring together in a unification of whole-mindedness. Okay? Now, if we're going to use the Course in Miracles, and we will for a moment, Master Jesus would indicate it's impossible that your mind and reality not be whole. We're literally dealing with an impossible situation where you have taken split concepts yourself and formulated a world, literally a world, that couldn't possibly exist because it's only in relationship with itself. It's like being an egg or being born. Now, as you come to know that is so, you'll be born. So being born is simply remembering. Isn't that fun? And that's what we're about here. And I, just for a minute here on this lovely Tuesday morning, January the 16th, 1990 at God Cancer Place, I want to show you that as you come around a whole mind, it will instruct you very simply to come into whole associations with yourself. Instead of grabbing previously ascribed conceptions and attempting to formulate them in some sort of computer falsity, take each thing you see, okay, bring it into wholeness in association with yourself and begin to create through the self-expression of you. Huh? And that's what we're doing here. We'll be back in a little bit. John Frank is sitting here saying, talk more about this. Well, here's the thing. If the connections of your mind are to establish a limited perceptual goal, let's say you're going to take all of the cultural aspects of your college days and your high school days and bring them into a law degree where you can practice law, you're going to continue to feel the frustrations of your own unfulfillment. Now, here's what we maintain. If you will set your goal to whole-mindedness, or the absolute determination to know yourself in reality, okay, you will then take all the things that happen to you and fit them perforcely into an association with what you are. This is called spiritual search, if you want to. But when it reaches its highest level, the only necessity or indication is to seek ye first the kingdom of the Lord, expressed religiously, and inevitably you will find it, since the power of your mind must direct you, okay, to the effects that you hitherto established somewhere within the space-time framework. You know, in other words, I want to know God. Okay, the statement, I want to know God, or I want to know who I am, is the positive indication that if you'll include all of yourself and your perceptual mind in with yourself, you will have to know who you are. Now, that may necessitate including things that you don't want to include, things that will cause you stress and pain because of your previous rejection of them. Okay. All new teachings, my new covenant, my direction of whole mind is existential and includes the necessity for you to arrive at the conclusion of subjective reality, that quite literally you are the constructor of the world. That will give you the relief of the necessity to be first at the mercy of something that appears to be outside of you. Okay? And second, the assertion of your capacity to come to whole light and truth through that endeavor. Now, if this smacks of a process of non-defensiveness, okay, a process of giving up your previous relationships, and this is what you don't want to do, this will lead you directly to the fundamental Christian teachings of Jesus Christ. You're not going to get away from your kingdom is not of this world. You're not going to get away from resist not evil. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are the meek. Why? Because your continued participation in your attempts to self-identify are what hell is. This is what's causing your difficulty. Sin, sickness, and death are not real. They cannot be real if you seek whole-mindedness. Because if there is whole-mindedness, you must be contained within that framework. And the absurdity of conflict in total whole mind is too ridiculous to contemplate. So you can look very simply at you pose the question, I don't know who I am, and that obviously is an insane statement. But allowing you that, you can come to know who you are by including all of you and with a quotient of your reality. Okay, we'll be back. Now, for those of you who are going to be using this tape, I'm going to include you in on part of the process which you might term the initiation process, or the necessity for you to be quiet. The absolute necessity for you to still the incorrigible mind. This is a technique that's demonstrated in all Eastern traditions, in fact in every tradition, and certainly within the Christian framework of silent prayer, and most explicitly as a technique of the workbook of the Course in Miracles. It begins with the statement, you don't know who you are, tells you you're not real, and tells you to be quiet. Okay? So that the atonement or the at-one-ment is nothing but the subtraction then, okay, of the previously held views of associated perception about yourself. So the teaching is the removal of the obstacles to reality which constitute the perceptual mind. Now what we'll do here just for a few minutes is we have a group of loving consciousnesses here who are in a practice of meditation. So if you'll sit comfortably for just a moment and shut up, okay, we'll begin to allow this reformation through some vision perhaps, or through some surrender practices, to bring you to the light that is directly behind that veil or cloud that you have constructed to protect your apparent sin and separation. Let's be about it. Breathe in some light. Because of the nature of God's country place, you'll notice that very rapidly you begin to feel a gentle peace, and begins to soothe your conceptions, and you begin to release yourself to this light that is actually all around you. The limited perceptual ones who are really non-existent or dead, as we call, all around them is life and beauty and love, but because they refuse to release the self-constructed perceptions, they don't see it. That's what we're doing now. This lovely connection will come automatically. If your mind becomes beset with thoughts, just release them. Don't attempt to hold and identify. They'll flow rapidly by. Don't hold on. Don't grasp. Don't possess thoughts. Simply be. I know there's an answer to this somewhere, and I'm determined to find it. I'm determined to find the purpose for me. I am told that the purpose for me is to bring all of me together in this perception so that I can maturate, so that I can graduate to a new dimension of perceptual consciousness. And be a whole new thing. I seek that. It cannot be, it is not there for me. I will awake now. The valley will be exalted. That's very lovely, and we'll continue this meditation. It's important that you see that this course in miracles, this course in atonement can be taught to yourself, since you are a total mind construct. And your decision to proceed with this evolutionary process of your mind makes it inevitable that it occurred. One of the prime directives to you now is to disassociate yourself from linear time. Stop constructing yourself in sequential time. Let time be what it is. Then you can bring your cause and effect together again. You can come into the now of eternity. You do that by what? Simply relinquishing your previous experiences with yourself, for goodness sake. Give them up. Come into your now and be whole. Those of you now who are experiencing and have experienced the incredible pain of the necessity to attempt to formulate your perceptual thoughts with the reality of you will find this day very valuable, if you're ready to listen to it. We say that you are coming to new mind and that you are different from the thought patterns that are around you. You're very early in this adventure, but you're never too early. So stand clear and stand firm. This is a process of detachment, of course. You didn't fail. I am here positively to tell you that you didn't fail. I know. I know you all very well. The basis of our teachings is to shorten time and finally collapse it so that there is no distance between the cause, which is your thought, and the effect that you think is outside you. Cause and effect are not apart, and when we bring them together in your whole mind, you will experience enlightenment, and you will see that you are. That's what's happening to you. And if you feel the intensity and the pain and the friction of your search for futile goals, your determination to be eternal now rather than caught in the throes of pain and death, you begin to hear this message. There is no death. There is no termination. You renounce it now in your own mind through looking right at it. Don't cast it off into the future. Look at it now. Bring it to your attention now. It's impossible that you can turn it. You are all the light and consciousness that there could ever be. This fear threshold that you're going to cross very soon is nothing but mind constructs of separation, conflict. They have no reality now. This is the whole teachings of the transformation process. Willingness to view the defiled altar, as Jesus would say. Look at your whole self in association with yourself. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You have nothing to fear. Your capacity to extend love now. True empathy is becoming very, very bright and advanced. You no longer judge your brother. Reflect back to yourself the evilness that you have presented to him, but rather through forgiveness. Come into the whole light of your love reality. How simple then is salvation, the relinquishment of grievance that you hold in your previous historic frames of reference with the images that you have brought with you to this world to protect your own shell, your own hell, your own unreality. Give them up now. Come home with us. Truth and love await you just over here, right here. Heaven is not a place. There is no heaven without you. There is no God without you. Thankfully, then, in reality, you are you, aren't you? Master Jesus, nothing outside of heaven is real. And this is outside of heaven, so it is not real. You need no longer be concerned about it. Let go and let God. So our talk on connections has turned into a meditative session. We wanted you out there now, all around the world, that are using the words of Jesus Christ of Nazareth in the direct facilitation of reality that is the Course of Miracles, to take us as the applicators of that in our determination to bring about the transformation of your minds. Now this becomes an advanced course, doesn't it? Since the sole purpose of any direction, spiritual direction, is to bring about enlightenment or transformation. There is no other reason. We're happy that you're joining us now in this full endeavor, this full commitment to the reality of the universe that's all about you. Wake up, sleeping ones, wake up. I would have no reason to tell you these such words. Your admission of that will be a giant step in the shortening of time for you. You are coming to know that motivated action leads inevitably to death. You no longer want to pursue the limited things that human beings do, and that's perfectly all right. This is our teaching and our declaration. The earth is not real. As Master Jesus would say, your kingdom is not of this world, but rather with the world of the living. This brotherhood forms now in that statement of love and forgiveness. And through this process of giving, forgiving, we have begun the creative statements of perceptual self-identity that extend from us in the certainty of our wholeness and our statements of innocence, non-guilt, which can only come from a whole mind that knows that sin and death and sickness have no reality. Swear not to die, you holy Son of God. You made a bargain you cannot keep, as Master Jesus would say. Rather join the living. This is an individual process. This has nothing to do with the apparent cohorts and constituencies that you have constructed outside of yourself, teacher. Gets a little lonely perhaps in there in your pursuit of this. That's okay. That's okay. Be true. Be of good cheer. You are not alone. The momentary pain that you feel as you attempt to detach yourself from these perceptual associations and the demand, Master Jesus handles it beautifully in the Course, the demand that you continue to share temporal and apparently rational death and pain associations with the consciousnesses that appear beyond you is where the pain is, because very well in your mind you know that there's something more than this. You've always known it. And you awaken now to that clarion call that echoes across the universe, proclaiming the reality. Single consciousnesses in love and truth. Come home, come home. This is not your home. Where you're from, for goodness sake. Look at it. Who would want to be from here? Continuing process of the transformation of your mind. Mentally, emotionally, physically. You're undergoing these changes physically. The enlightenment of the whole body. Of course. Of course. The statement that your body will become a vehicle of communication, the extension of true perception. The statement of your wholeness is what saviorship is, and indeed you are the only living Son of God. The world is saved through you, no other way. These are the teachings of Jesus in the Course in Miracles, and these are the teachings that need statements, that need the necessity of your declarations. You come make them with us now. Be free in commitment. We can't fail. Infinite patience brings immediate result. It's impossible that we would come together with a common goal and not recognize ourselves in the unifying statement of our reality of love. How firm a foundation then is established in this associate church of reality. The energy of our commitment literally transforms. Those of you who are hearing this call now, you know who you are. This is the time that you chose, isn't it? Within your own conceptions, within your own dream. It has nothing to do with anything that you've constructed around you, except the necessity that you included in with the formulation of yourself, and we'll help you do that. This is a process of forgiveness. But once you catch a glimpse of what we're presenting to you, you will never want to. And the things that you're going to do. You're going to turn towards the light, aren't you? Time is an invention that you have constructed to keep yourself from recognizing that cause and effect are not apart, and that you are creative mind in action. And that's the metamorphosis that's occurring in you. Look. You use this tape now in your meditative moments and in your groups and individually. It will be of high value to you if you let it be. When the words of truth are spoken to you. You feel these stirrings now of reality. Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. There is nothing to fear. Nothing. There'll be a point in your meditation where you say, I don't want to do this. I'm fearful. I'm losing myself. Fear not. This transition that you're passing through happened very rapidly. You remember it took you a long, long time to get into this. This old world was over a long time ago. You're just reliving now those moments where fear entered. They'll be passing very soon. That's it. See? You are the light of the world. We're glad you're here with us now in this final dream. This was our designated time of coming together. The omega point, where we step out of time into eternity. It's important that you remember that space has nothing at all to do with this meditation. You can enter directly into this mandala, into this associative energy, through your commitment. You feel then the integration of the energy forces of the universe, and we're never apart. There's your light. Now this vast array of perception comes together in this new formulation in your mind. You step briskly into the light. How foolish of you to think that sickness and death and pain were real. It's a foolish idea. Love and truth are a fact. God is a fact. And you are that. And have become that. Perhaps we'll see you soon, physically now, as this group, this high gathering comes together. You call us or invite us. This is the great process going on now. Transcendence. Our time is short now. Come on. Take a good look at this. Don't falter. We hope to see you soon. We will be with you always. God bless you from this place of love. We'll be back. We're back here just for a moment. I see this tape started out with a talk about connecting your mind and ended up connecting your mind. And it's important that you understand that we teach more than just concepts of reality. We teach transformational reality, don't we? All the philosophy of the world of singularity, of quantum, of single consciousness will not avail you if you hold it outside of your own reality. Rather, become that you are then. Okay. Consciousness is singular and you are that, and that's not difficult if you practice this relinquishment of yourself. Okay? Only forgive and you'll think differently. And I know it seems simple, but